Hi everyone, my name's Pan and welcome to another edition of Bluebird Corner and the Cardiff City Fans Podcast. If you do subscribe in the last few days of August, you'll be in the prize draw to win a Wales photo frame from the 2016 Euros, and we'll do that draw on September the 1st. So we'll have a look forward to Saturday's game against Plymouth Argyle. It's a 12:30 kickoff live on Sky Sports again. Then that's every game so far this season. City have been live. And what we'll do is we'll preview the game. We'll look at past performances between the teams, current form, some past player links, and look ahead to the likely sides and predictions. So City have had a great start to the season, unbeaten their first 7 League and Cup games, and that hasn't been achieved since 2008. And Plymouth are expected to bring between 2,500 and 3,000 fans down to the City Stadium this Saturday, so we're estimating a crowd of around 21,000 plus. Now, Plymouth have really had a bad start to the season. They've only had 1 league win. They started the season at home to Barnsley with a poor defeat, 3-1. But to be fair, they haven't had an easy opening few games. They've had to play Bolton and Lincoln away, and a tricky home game as well against Orient. Now, they were many people's favourites to get automatic promotion this year. I tipped them to finish 3rd this season, but I still think by Christmas they could be in the top 6. Now, City have played the Pilgrims 62 times. City have won 23 and drawn 20. Biggest defeat for City actually against Plymouth was 7-1 in 1966. And City have had 2 or 3 wins by 5 goals. And some of you may remember that game in 1986 when we beat Plymouth 5-4. Now, past player links between both sides, well, there's quite a few. Tony Capaldi, the defender. Curtis Nelson, another defender. Craig Noon, the winger. Isaac Vassell, the striker. Barry Jones, who some of you might remember from the 60s. He was a very good winger and he did well for both clubs. There's a little tenuous link there for Sean Morrison, our very good captain over a number of years. He was actually born in Plymouth and was on Plymouth's books. Never actually played for Plymouth Argyle. And famous players that have played for both sides. Paul Mariner was one from many years ago before he went to Ipswich. Tommy Tynan had a very successful career there before he went on to have the same success at Newport County. And more recent times, Peter Shilton was there in his latter years as a player, and he also managed Plymouth Argyle. So as for the teams for this Saturday, so BBM normally goes with a 4-2-3-1 formation. And it was great to see in the week some of the other players like Mafiko play in that midfield with a near 90% pass accuracy. And there was some really encouraging displays from some of the younger lads. But we expect Trott to be in goal. Turner made a great penalty save, but Trott will be back. Capaccio right back instead of NG, although he's just come back. Bagan left back, and Fish and Lawler we think will be central defence, with possibly Wintle and Mafiko in front. Then we're looking at Ashford and Willock on the wings, with Ruben Colwell and Salic up front. And we've heard in the last few hours that Alex Robertson, supposedly, a couple of clubs have made bids to Cardiff City of between £4 and £5 million. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few days of the window. We signed him just over £1 million, didn't we, from Man City? He was hit and miss last season. He had a good understanding with Turnbull, but didn't do as well as we expected. A little bit disappointing, really, but who knows what's going to happen there. So, that one could develop in the next few days. As for Plymouth Argyle, well, just to let you know, a couple of players who have come back from injury, Ronnie Edwards, Freddie Izaka, who's the young Welsh lad, he's also back. And they're much better now than they were a couple of weeks ago. And I think this will be a fairly tough game for City. They've also just signed Port Vale striker Tolaj for over £1 million. Now, Plymouth tend to set up with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Tom Cleverley, the former Manchester United player, came in June, and he took over from manager Muslic, who joined Schalke. And the Pilgrims have signed so far 13 players so far this season, and they're looking for one more player, who will be a midfielder. So as for Plymouth Argyle's team, they'll probably start with Ashby Hammond in goals, Souks, Mitchell, Galloway and Benaros in defence, with Ibrahim and Boateng in front. An attacking three of probably Amici, Edwards and Isaka, with Tollage up front. So this is a really tough one to predict, because on paper you should think that, Plymouth Argyle, what are they, 19th in the league, one win so far. City, as I said, unbeaten. You think this would be a comfortable win for City, but I would say that Plymouth have improved. They took obviously Swansea to penalties. That could have gone either way. I've been told by some Plymouth fans they could have easily won that 2 or 3-1. So it's a really tough one to predict. And City against Plymouth have actually beaten City 9 times at our place in the last 20 occasions. So it will be a tricky one. Turnbull obviously is out. And obviously we know Eli King's got a long-term injury. But I think City will have just about enough to nick this one 2-1 with Ruben and Salic scoring. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if we draw, I dare say, lose our unbeaten record this Saturday, because it is one of those games where Plymouth are definitely on the up. And it's not easy, and they'll have obviously good support. But I'm going to go bold. I'm going to go Cardiff City 2, Plymouth Argyle 1. Do you agree with that side for Saturday? Would you happily see Mafiko in there? Do you think NG should come back with a bit more experience? And what do you think about Alex Robertson as a player, and whether you'd be happy for him to go? We appreciate all your comments and likes. We've got over 300 subscribers so far. So we're on track for 1,000 by the end of the season. So thanks very much for everyone who's watched, liked and commented. We really appreciate it. And we'll do a podcast on the Sunday, just post review of the Plymouth game. So have a good weekend, and we shall see you soon. Take care.